Welcome back to DAGryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave. I just picked up a new train set at Grzyboski's, and we need to check it out. A while back, I don't remember exactly how long, I picked up this set, the Thomas battery operated set, and I did a video on it, ran it, reviewed it, and I was quite impressed with it for what it is. When I bought this and reviewed it and played with it a little bit, I said to myself, I really want to check out one of the battery operated sets that's a little more traditional. And there were some things that I did not like about this Thomas set, and I'm wondering if any of those things will be different with this set right here. This is the Lionel Pennsylvania Flyer battery operated O-gauge set 712131. And again, I picked this up at Grzyboski's for a good price. It's time to open this up and see what it's like. Open the box and all the cars and the engine come out in this nice plastic tray. Okay, well the engine is an 080. If I remember correctly, it looks very much like the other Lionel 080s, with the exception of the cow catcher on the front. That seems like a strange choice to me. If you're doing an 080, why not just put the same footboard on the front of it that they do on all the other 080s? Were they trying to make it look like something it's not? Because of the cow catcher, I feel like it's missing a front truck. And that bothers me a little bit. I think I'd be a lot happier if it had the same front as all the other 080s. I'd say the details on this are pretty decent for a whole bunch of molded in details. It's very lightweight. Only the rear wheels are driven. It's got a little speaker on the bottom. I guess that's the headlight right there. It looks like there's a screw in the headlight mounting. That's weird. Okay. There's a screw back here, batteries go in there. Now, this is an odd choice. Put a switch mounted right to the side of it when they could have easily put it up here or down here maybe. But to slap it right on the side of the engine, that's weird. That's two things I don't really like about it so far. The cow catcher and the switch right on the side. The engine has a little door in the cab and a tray comes out that holds 4 batteries. Part of it didn't make sense to me right away, and that was this little divider here. It slides back and forth to separate the batteries from each other. I'm not really sure why, but it's there. One end has contacts, the other end doesn't. Side with the contacts slides in, and this little door goes on there. There's a line, there's Bluetooth, and there's off in the middle. The remote's just like any other Line Chief remote. Takes 3 AAA batteries. When you turn the engine on, headlight flashes, makes the Line Chief noise. Turn the remote on. One thing they did on this that they did not do, or at least does not work on the Thomas version, is you can change the volume. As you put it to middle, hold the button, turn it all the way down. It's still making noise, but it's very quiet. Turn it back to middle. Pretty instant reaction on the throttle. So one of my biggest concerns was that volume setting. Because if you have kids and they've ever had a toy that makes noise, you know you need to be able to turn that volume off. So while this volume is not off, it is very quiet at the moment. Once I set up the Thomas under the tree, I realized I can't turn the sound off. I don't want to listen to that thing chuffing all the time, so it's not something I would want to use under the tree. If this runs decently and is quiet, and I can turn the volume off, then that's a candidate to run under the tree, where maybe I can run it all day long. Okay, so I'm going to definitely have to look at the directions, because I don't quite get it. And it actually might be a really good setting if that's what this is. You've got the switch. You turn it to Bluetooth to use the remote, or I believe you can use the app. If you put it forward, headlight comes on, makes smoke. It takes a second, and then it just starts going. So I guess it's more of a set it and forget it setting. Well, then there's the side rods here. This is all one piece. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. Being that it is an inexpensive battery-operated plastic set, maybe I'm being too critical. Let's take a look at the rest of it. Looks like pretty much any other tender for the 080s that Lionel uses. Again, very lightweight, very inexpensive and cheap plastic trucks and wheels. Looks like there's a light back there, but it's just there for the look of it. But as far as the tender shell is concerned, I feel like we've seen this exact shell 100 times. I kind of like the caboose. It seems oddly long for a traditional width caboose. I do kind of like it. The couplers feel real cheap, the trucks feel real cheap, but overall, I kind of like it. Comes with two 13-inch Madison cars. We've seen the Madison cars over and over again. It's about what I would expect from a baby Madison car. Again, trucks are cheap, couplers are cheap. The basic detail is there, and the logo and the stripes look like they're pretty well done. It's got two passenger cars, and they both have the same number on them. Oh. All the cars have 565 on them. The engine, the caboose, the two cars. The only thing that doesn't say 565 is the tender. Interesting. Below the plastic tray that the train comes in, you got a cardboard box that has all the track in it. Just like the Thomas set, it comes with a crossover and 4 switches, in addition to all the turns you need and some straight pieces. Also like the Thomas set, it comes with a water bottle to fill up your vapor smoker. This doohickey, whatever it's called, is that a light? I don't really know, but it's kind of flimsy. Got one of these, got one of those. That's a surprise, I didn't expect that to move. That's pretty cool. And a couple of these. All very similar to the Thomas set. Except the Thomas set had a spot in the plastic for the accessories to sit, and they weren't just tossed in with the track. Now, I'm not going to open up the track because I already have the plastic track on the floor under the tree from the Thomas set. I have another baby Madison Pensy car here, and pretty much the same thing. The trucks are a little different, but still, the trucks on this are pretty cheap as well, except it's got metal wheels and center rail pickups. Access for the batteries here. I do have to say that I like the Pennsylvania and the stripes on this car from the battery set better than the kind of metallic Pensy on this one. The big question though is, do the couplers line up? Because the Thomas set, the couplers were lower, so you couldn't use that Thomas to pull anything other than the cars that it came with. Well, these are essentially the same cars, so yeah, the couplers line up. So that takes care of one of my main complaints about the Thomas set. So I'm happy to see that. I could sit here and nitpick the quality of the cars and the engine from this set, but that's not really why I got it. The question is, what's the playability like? Is it worth buying, giving to a kid to get into the hobby? My first impression of this set, even considering my complaints, is that so far I'm thinking, yeah, this is a great set for a kid. It's lightweight, it's plastic, it's probably pretty durable, and it will run on regular 3-rail O-gauge track. So they play with it on the floor, on their plastic track, maybe under the tree, maybe in their room, and then they can take it down to your training room, throw it on the same track, and run it on your layout. And that is fantastic. I don't know how many cars this engine will pull, which we'll find out later, but that might be a lot of fun. Put it on the layout and pull some different cars, maybe some lightweight Weaver boxcars. A Weaver boxcar's got to weigh a little less than this, so that'll be very interesting. And even if it doesn't pull a lot of cars, I don't see that as a problem, because my entry-level set from the 70s, that engine only pulled like 4 or 5 cars. So if this thing doesn't pull 10 cars, I wouldn't be surprised or concerned. What you have here is a set that if you put it on the layout, the cars, the tender, the caboose, aren't going to be easily distinguishable from other traditional size O-gauge trains. The engine, on the other hand, I don't know. There are a lot of concessions taken with that, and it looks a little cheaper than everything else does. If they had made it look just like one of the regular 080s that they use for everything else, I think that would have been a better choice than this changed, modified, fake 080. Maybe I'll change my mind on that once I run it. And I know I've said before that who needs another 080 that looks just like every other 080, but for this set, my initial response is I think that would have made more sense than this odd design that they came up with. When it's on the track, the cow catcher on the front, it looks okay. It does give it more of a traditional passenger steam engine look to it than having just a footboard on the front, but it still kind of bothers me. I'll get over it though. The water goes in here. This dome comes off, and it's just like a water bottle inside. You can use the squeeze bottle that it comes with, or just a water bottle. Takes a decent amount of water, and if you put in too much, you can just dump some out. There's only one other design thing on this that really irks me, and that is this regular coupler on the back of the engine. The reason it bothers me is because so many times you see somebody with a tender facing the wrong way. And with this set, you can do that because it's just a regular coupler. It makes putting the cars together easier, but I just feel like it's setting kids up for a lifetime of not knowing which way the tender goes. I have used this a bit already. I was running it under the tree, and I ran it out here with a whole bunch of Polar Express cars. And it pulled a number of Polar Express cars, but it drained the battery super fast. So I guess the motor is stronger than the battery's ability to power it. Because pretty much right after I started running it with the, I don't know, 8 or 10 Polar Express cars, it started telling me that the battery was low. So if you're going to pull a bunch of cars with it, which it seemingly will do, it's going to drain the battery real quick. I think it's pretty nice for such an inexpensive set that not only can it run automated, but it can also run Bluetooth with the remote or with the app. Operation with the remote is just as you would expect. With the app, I was actually surprised. Set it to Bluetooth, open up the app, select the engine, and pair it. And we're good to go. You have your basic control screen. Hit the settings, you can turn smoke on and off, change the momentum, and you can also set the speed limit. If you hit the volume button, you can actually change the pitch of the whistle. Which I thought was pretty impressive. And the bell. I thought that was pretty cool that they gave you that option on such an inexpensive set. And then you can change the custom levels and the overall volume from here as well. I think it's nice that they put battery-powered lights in the cars, and they're actually pretty bright. I think it would also be nice if they were on a timer and shut off maybe after 15 minutes or something like that. Screw, a couple of AAA batteries go in there, and the power switch is right here. Once you know which side the switch is on, it's very easy to get to. You just reach under, turn it on. If you have additional cars and you want to run them on your plastic track that came with the set, if it's got a center rail pickup, it won't work on the plastic track because the pickup will get caught on the ties. Since they put lights in the passenger cars, I think it would have been nice if they put them in the caboose as well, but they did not.
Hey there! What are you waiting for? Let's roll! I'm feeling a little squeak. Give me a little oil, all right? I make steam from water and fire. And I'm Charlie Hobby, the Pennsylvania Flyer. Signal operator, any updates on track conditions? I'm feeling a little squeak. Give me a little oil, all right?
After running this set for a little bit, I have to say there are plenty of things to like about it. First and foremost, it's affordable. To get an engine, 2 passenger cars, a caboose, a couple little accessories, and a decent amount of track For around $130, it's a win. I have to say this runs pretty smooth. It's easy to use, it's easy to set up, the smoke output is fantastic. Normally I'm a passenger car kind of guy, but pulling a couple of boxcars, I think it looks even better. I could run this train just like this on the layout with my other trains, and I think it would be fine. The sounds, I think, are pretty good. The bell is pretty decent, and I think so is the whistle. So overall, the playability is there with this. It's fun to use, it's easy to use. I think the biggest problem with this is going to be battery life, especially if you try to pull more than the 3 cars it came with. So what it comes down to is I think it's a pretty cool set, despite any shortcomings, and especially if you have some lightweight boxcars to throw at it, you've got a couple of decent train sets.
The Pennsylvania Flyer is ready to roll.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on DAGryffyn Hobby.